This episode is brought to you by Dashlane. Never forget another password and keep all your credentials secure by signing up for a free account today. An American student was tried and convicted of murder when her British roommate was found stabbed to death in the house that they shared. All evidence suggested she was not at home when the murder took place. Nevertheless, she was sentenced to a quarter of a century in an Italian prison until she won an appeal and was set free until standing trial once again. She was found guilty once more until finally the decision was overturned once more, in a legal case with more twists and turns than a theme park roller coaster. So just who was this American woman, and how did she find herself in this wild situation? That's what we'll find out. In this episode of the Infographics Show, who was Amanda Knox and is she innocent? Amanda Knox grew up in Seattle with a younger sister and two stepsisters. Her mother was a teacher and her father worked in the finance department of a local Macy's. She grew up in a middle-class neighborhood and was an athlete, excelling at soccer and earning the nickname Foxy Knoxy. Amanda first went to Italy when she was a teenager and visited Rome, Pisa, the Amalfi Coast, and the ruins of Pompeii with her family. She became fascinated with the country after reading Under the Tuscan Sun by Frances Mays. She graduated from Seattle Prep School in 2005 and studied linguistics at the University of Washington. She worked part-time jobs to fund an academic year in Italy. Amanda was a normal college student. She liked to throw wild parties and was well liked by her peers. To further her studies in linguistics, she left Washington for Perugia, Italy, where she intended to spend a year at a university foreign student program. As things turned out, she ended up staying much longer. She roomed with 21-year-old Meredith Kircher from London, who was studying in the same program. A little while after their arrival at Perugia, Amanda and Meredith attended a classical music concert where they bumped into engineering student Raphael Solicito. Amanda fell head over heels for this dude, who she said looked like a young Italian Harry Potter with rimless glasses and a floppy fringe. She soon started living with the young Italian, and she liked crashing at Solicito's student apartment. Because he was a bit of a loner, he lived by himself, and the couple could get some privacy in the place set up by Solicito's wealthy urologist father. The only problem with the apartment was that it was prone to flooding, and on one fateful morning, Amanda decided to leave the building while her boyfriend spoke to his dad about the plumbing. Knox left for her own building that she shared with Kircher and the two Italians to grab a shower and freshen up. Arriving back at the place, she noticed things weren't quite right. The front door to the premises had been left ajar. She called out and silence answered her. Kircher's door was shut and Amanda assumed she was asleep. After taking a shower, she noticed drops of blood in the sink. Then after going into the second bathroom, she noticed somebody had defecated in the toilet without flushing. This was most strange. Knowing her roommates wouldn't have forgotten to flush, she began to panic. She fled back to her Italian lover. She returned later with her boyfriend Solicito to check for signs of a break-in. Her own room appeared to be untouched. They were unable to break into Kircher's room. Solicito called the Italian military police and two officers arrived at the scene. The officers who arrived were postal police officers and not equipped to deal with a violent crime. As a result, the crime scene was botched with untrained officers letting the students roam around, and when they finally broke into the bedroom and found Kircher's body, all the students present ran out onto the street screaming. Both Amanda Knox and Raphael Solicito were taken in for questioning for 5 days. They were heavily interrogated. Amanda's mother pleaded with her to flee the country, but she remained in Perugia despite the increasing implications. Under heavy questioning, Solicito admitted that Amanda may have been able to leave his apartment at night and go back to her main residence. Cops presented this scenario to Amanda, who signed a report saying that she had indeed returned to the house on the night in question, but later she reported that force was used to acquire confessions from her during the interrogation. Several days later, both Solicito and Amanda were charged with murder. This led to an international controversy as US forensic experts thought the evidence at the crime scene was flimsy. In fact, not a single piece of Amanda's DNA was found in the room where Meredith Kircher was brutally murdered. A person would normally shed DNA as he or she sits or walks around a room. Giuliano Mignini, the Italian investigator/prosecutor and avid Sherlock Holmes fan, was convinced that a woman had committed the crime because the body was found with a blanket covering it, and according to him, a man would never think to cover a body in such a way. The DNA evidence pointed towards Rudy Guade, a friend of the Italians who also lived at the apartment. Guade had been accused of several burglaries but was yet to have any convictions. He was arrested in Germany and admitted to being at the murder scene, but stated he didn't kill Kircher. He also said that neither Knox nor Solicito were involved in any way. Despite this, the Italian Sherlock Holmes Mignini was convinced Amanda Knox and Solicito were also murderers. Quaid was tried in October 2008. He was found guilty of the murder and sexual assault of Meredith Kircher and was sentenced to 30 years. He is currently still serving the sentence. Knox and Solicito were tried together in a separate trial. Mignini painted Amanda as a wildly sexual young American who had dragged the influential young Italian into a world of reefer madness and murder. The jury bought the story, and they were sentenced to 25 and 26 years respectively. Support from the media in America helped fund an appeal case. A 2011 appeal was successful, and the pair was freed. However, in a tragic twist, they were once again found guilty in 2014 after the appeal was successfully overturned and a new trial found the pair guilty once more. The world looked on at a legal case with all the thrills of a soap opera drama. For Amanda, it was more like a horror story. Closure was finally at hand in 2015 when the Supreme Court of Italy acquitted Knox and Solicito of any involvement in the murder of Meredith Kircher. Knox fled Italy as fast as she could, but in August 2017, she announced that she is returning to Perugia in 2018 as part of a follow-up to her best-selling memoir about her Italian struggle, Waiting to be Heard. This girl's got some balls. While this story is full of twists and turns, what doesn't have to be so complicated is your relationship to your passwords and online identity. That's why we suggest using Dashlane. Dashlane is a password manager that makes it easier for you to control your digital identity. Anytime you have to come up with a new password, you can use Dashlane to generate a super secure one. You'll never have to log into another website again. Dashlane does it automatically for you. Become more secure and support the Infographics Show at the same time by using the code Infographics, and get 10% off Dashlane Premium from the get-go by going to dashlane.com/infographicshow or clicking the link in the description. So, what do you think? Was Amanda Knox innocent or guilty? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Also, be sure to watch our other video called The President's Escape Plan if the US is attacked. Thanks for watching, and as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you next time!